Hello all. Today I just want to give you a brief view on the recent GDP growth of India's economy. So what we have seen the growth of India's gross domestic product, that is GDP in short, that we call it actually increased at 7.8% in the April to June quarter of financial year 24, that is 2023-24. So during the first quarter, or from the April to June financial year, we can say that this quarter the growth of the GDP is at the 7.8%, which was actually expected to be in the range of the 7.7 to around between 8%. So the growth is relatively impressive, and it shows that there is some government, the expenditure or capital expenditure is showing some results, and so it has actually increased compared to 13.1% growth rate that we have seen in the first quarter of financial year 2022-23, that is for the previous years. And now real GDP, what we have seen is the real GDP at constant prices, that is at the 2011-12 prices, in the first quarter of 2023-24 is estimated to attain a level of rupees 40.337 lakh crore as against rupees 37.44 lakh crore in first quarter of 2022-23. The central government NSO office on 31st August released the GDP figures for the first quarter of the new financial year. The figure is now actually, as we have earlier intimated, that it is on expected lines. So it is still it is impressive, and it is marginally higher than the previously estimated 7.7% in the June quarter. Now what we find, if we look at the sectoral growth rates, so we have seen that agriculture sector shows a very impressive growth rate at 3.5% in April to June quarter of this financial year compared to the corresponding period of financial year FY23. And financial and services sector shows strong growth at 12.2% compared to 8.5% in the previous period. So what we have seen that agriculture sector and services sector have shown very impressive growth, but on the other hand the construction sector growth declined to 7.9%. And we have seen so obviously that in the agriculture sector, what we are seeing that FMCG, the fast moving consumer goods sectors, they are also seeing there some demand from this so newly launched products, which are actually reaching out to the rural household sectors, and there are a lot of other farm related equipments demand for that. And though government has taken a huge capital expenditure capex, and now there are some impacts are there, the production linked incentives that government has taken, but it might not be equally giving results to all the sectors or industry, but some sectors or industries are flourishing. On the export front, as we have seen, the electronic goods industries, they have seen a very impressive growth. On the other hand, also government is trying to boost the domestic manufacturing sector by providing a lot of incentives and also curbing the imports of laptops and PCs and some electronic segments. So also what we have noted, these 8 core industries that we talked about, that is basically comprises of coal, electricity, and fertilizers, petroleum refinery products, natural gas, crude oil, steel, cement. There also we have seen substantial growth. So especially we have seen the coal sector has shown very very impressive growth rates in July 20 this year 2023. In the July month, it has increased by 14.9%, where the natural gas has also increased to 8.9%, and So what we have seen, this coal and steel, these particular two sectors, two industries have increased substantially. Steel has increased by 13.5%, whereas coal has increased by 14.9%. And other sectors also have shown impressive growth, like natural gas, as we have mentioned, at 8.9%, and also cement at 7.1%, electricity 6.9%, and the overall growth we have seen as at the 8%. So it shows a very impressive growth, and also as we are seeing that there are a lot of global investment banks are taking very bullish view on the Indian economy given the Western crisis. A lot of other developed economies are not doing well, say especially UK, China, and some dominant economies we have seen. In other countries also inflation rates are quite high, even including UK, Eurozone and all. Given this, India has seen a very impressive investments in the stock markets. There are a lot of FPI investments, though there is a dip in the foreign direct investments to some extent. So there are a lot of initiatives have been taken by the government of India. So we have to see how these are taking some time. But given the external headwinds, we have to keep in mind that this is another obstacle for India's growth path. Nevertheless, I mean, that as domestically, India is among the one of the fastest growing major economies in this world. So, also one of the very important news, very good news for the India is that the RBI Governor Shaktikanta Das has given the one of the eminent award from the Global Finance Center as RBI Governor